It took Ford all the way up until 2015 to give the Mustang GT a factory-independent rear suspension setup, which means that the GT itself had a live axle for literally 50 years before Ford felt the need to change it. The Mustang is a car that Ford has always tried their best to keep the soul and DNA of the same for good reason. With a history as illustrious as its, any radical changes to the Mustang risk tarnishing the name forever. But back when the Mustang was still in its infancy, someone had the daring idea to convert this new rear-wheel drive pony car into a production car testbed for their new all-wheel drive system. And this ultra-rare prototype Mustang was largely brushed to the side by history until now. This is the story of the incredibly rare Ferguson four-wheel drive Mustang that the world never got to see. In 1950, amidst the post-war boom, British inventor Harry Ferguson founded Ferguson Research, a company born from his relentless pursuit of engineering excellence. And Harry was no stranger to engineering. He was already a visionary who had revolutionized agriculture with his groundbreaking tractor designs and growing tractor empire, Ferguson Tractors. Ferguson Tractors itself was then sold to Massey Harris, which was another English tractor company post-World War II, which gave Harry ample cash laying around to invest in new ventures, and he saw the automobile market as his next big play, which made sense. He could take all of his manufacturing and engineering knowledge that helped him sell countless tractors and now channel that into the car business. His main goal was to build a series of reliable all-wheel drive family cars and potentially sell these designs to major manufacturers to bring to life, much like he had done in the past with some of his tractor designs in partnership with Ford. In an effort to draw significant public intrigue for these new all-wheel drive developments, Ferguson and one of his new company's co-founders, named Tony Rolt, turned their focus into building an all-wheel drive Formula One car. This F1 car could create breakthrough connections for Ferguson to prove the concept of his all-wheel drive systems to the major players in the market. Their Formula One car would be called the Ferguson P99. And while it did not see a ton of racing action, it is still to this day the only all-wheel drive Formula One car ever to win a race, being the 1961 International Gold Cup, where the car was piloted by the legendary Stirling Moss. But their initial plans paid off because even though the P99 wasn't super successful, this exposure did gain them contracts to help build various all-wheel drive race cars, like the Felday 4 Ford and others. Tragically though, right as the Ferguson-supplied all-wheel drive race cars started to see some widespread adoption, Harry Ferguson passed away, leaving the company to Rolt and Ferguson's son-in-law Tony. It was at this point in the story that the Ferguson focus was shifted and they truly doubled down on the commercial licensing of their Ferguson four-wheel drive system, which would become their claim to fame. They would initially sell this system to the British automaker Jensen for use in their soon-to-be all-wheel drive Interceptor, which was named the FF. Outside of this niche application though, Ferguson would then turn their sights to Ford. And speaking of Ford, if you were a Ford guy, then you should definitely check out Ridge, because right now Ridge is doing a massive sweepstakes where the winner can get a Hennessy Velociraptor, a gold-plated Cybertruck, or $100,000 in cash now through September 13th. And the best part, you can even enter for free. Or if you want to purchase one of their awesome wallets, pens, luggage, or other accessories, that will also get you entered to win, with every $1 spent giving you one entry to win. I know for me that Hennessy Velociraptor sounds like a pretty amazing daily driver, but let me know which of the 3 prizes that you would take. And all you have to do to get entered is go to ridge.com/rarecars or click the link below in the description, and you never know, you might be coming home with a new truck or $100,000 in cash after doing so. But now, back to the video. With the prior Ford and Ferguson business relationship existing back in the tractor days, albeit with some legal troubles, the idea was to still take that small in that they had with Ford and pair that with their newly launched and meteorically successful Mustang. Ferguson wanted to pitch Ford on offering a Ferguson four-wheel drive system for the Mustang, which, again, was quickly becoming a powerhouse seller for the brand. There was just one problem. Ford wouldn't technically sponsor this project or put their stamp of approval on it. Ferguson had to purchase 2 or 3 Mustangs on their own accord and engineer and install these conversion kits in them in an effort to present them to the upper brass at Ford as well as other manufacturers to prove the concept. One of the Mustangs that Ferguson ordered was kept stock, and another one had the entire all-wheel drive conversion done to it so they could do an easy one-to-one comparison. Both cars featured automatic transmissions and a 289 small block under the hood, with no modifications done to them from a powertrain perspective. And the reason that I say 2 or 3 cars is because most articles I could find mentioned that there were 3 of these, but the Tampa Bay Automobile Museum says there were only 2 of these cars, and they just so happen to currently own one. So take that as you wish. Now, the Ferguson system itself included a planetary center differential with one drive shaft feeding power to the stock differential in the back, while another drive shaft sent power to a smaller differential in the front, with a torque split of 37% to the front and 63-ish% to the rear. This was a full-time system with clutches allowing the car to smoothly turn and to have power sent to all 4 wheels at all times. As a result, this Mustang would have gotten far better traction in every single driving situation. But the rear bias of this all-wheel drive system would also allow this car to have a similar feel to a stock Mustang. And the Ferguson Mustang did have one more special feature up its sleeve, and that was a set of anti-lock brakes. Yes, long before anti-lock brakes were made standard in 2011, this Ferguson test Mustang had them equipped and fully functional back in the 60s. With the combination of this Ferguson Research drive system plus the anti-lock brakes, this new Mustang proved to be safer in all sorts of inclement weather, particularly on wet pavement, where the lightweight tail-happy Mustang could easily kick its tail out, and it was also faster to accelerate from a dig because it could put power down to all 4 wheels. And the anti-lock brakes meant that it could stop shorter as well. Ferguson campaigned their all-wheel drive Mustang to Ford as well as the other American automakers in an attempt to break into the American market. And the bigwigs at Ford and the Big Three in general were really impressed with the performance and benefits of this new system, but none of them bid on it, at least not yet. See, Ford was selling so many Mustangs at this point that they didn't feel the need to complicate their offering with an all-wheel drive system and the logistical impacts of that. Plus, you have to remember, Ford declined to put independent rear suspension on the Mustang because it would have added like $10 to the per vehicle cost. And this system was considerably more expensive than that. The other American automakers also passed on the Ferguson system to start as well, but eventually American Motors would work with Ferguson to develop an all-wheel drive system testbed that partially led to the AMC Eagle. So I guess technically the effort put into this Ferguson Mustang did amount to something. Thankfully though, this car is still around today and, as mentioned before, is owned and cared for by the Tampa Bay Automobile Museum at the time of this video being recorded. And let me know in the comments down below if you'd ever heard of this vehicle before this video. And if you know of any other super rare Mustangs that you want me to make a video on, leave them down in the comments. But thank you all again for watching another episode of our Rare Cars documentary series. If you enjoyed this video, we would greatly appreciate it if you could drop a like and also share this video with other enthusiasts. Also, please make sure that you are subscribed to the Rare Cars YouTube channel and smash that notification bell for more documentary style videos just like this on the world's most interesting cars. Until next time, enthusiasts.